Ciao ragazzi, I'm Roberta Pasta Evangelist and today we're gonna make a Venetian duck ragù. The ingredients for the Venetian duck ragù. So we start with extra virgin olive oil. We have chopped tomatoes, of course the duck meat. Then we prepared the soffritto, which is onion, celery and carrots, fresh sage. We got some dry bay leaf, garlic and some cinnamon spice, and also some chicken stock. And of course we're gonna pair with the beautiful pappardelle. And we're gonna infuse with a very good bottle of red wine. So let's start to make the Venetian duck ragù. We start with the soffritto that we already prepared. Remember guys, the secret about soffritto, it is so easy because you need to dice all the veg, but the secret is to basically measure the quantity of soffritto. It needs to be the same, onion, celery and carrots, the same quantity, in order to don't get too much taste of carrots or celery or onion. So we're going to put a little bit of extra virgin olive oil to start to brown the veg. I already put the pan on. I would say a couple of tablespoons. Normally, you know me already, guys. Whenever I do 2 tablespoons, it's always 3. So feel free to do it. We wait until the oil gets a little bit hotter. Garlic. This is my way, guys. You know, it's already peeled. We leave this aside. And now we can start with the soffritto. I'm gonna keep the sage here. We're gonna add l'era. And oh, the sound is just amazing. So let's leave the veg to brown a little bit, to get a little bit more soft. Look at this color, they are simply amazing. And we're gonna also leave the garlic to infuse with the veg. Then we can remove the garlic. I mean, you can always, I always prefer to remove the garlic so nobody gets really the entire garlic on the plate. If you want to leave it, you can chop and leave it with the rest of the veg, or if you want to do like me, then I will remove once we have infused the garlic with the veg. A few minutes and you will see that the veg, they will get more soft. In my brain, I always have the video ready, like now is the music, and then in a second you're gonna see the soffritto, a little bit more soft, and then we can add the meat. In the meantime, it's always good to start to open the bottle of wine. Why not? Oh. This is a Chianti Classico, really nice wine. So we keep these aside because we're gonna need in a second. Now, the veg are really nice and soft. I'm gonna leave for another few minutes the garlic to infuse with the soffritto. Now I can get the meat and start to brown the meat as well before we add the rest of the ingredient. Let's put this a little bit up so it is really nice and brown, and then we can continue to add. So we're gonna add the wine in a second, so it's gonna infuse and it's gonna get all the flavor out. Fantastico! So ragazzi, the meat, it's nice and brown now. We have cooked, and that's what you really want it to get before you add the remaining ingredient. I'm going to remove the garlic now, just because it also breaks in few parts. So I really don't want it to leave it into the pan. And I continue now to, because it's really nice and brown, guys, and most of the water has been absorbed. Now we can infuse with red wine. You can use white wine as well. Actually, the white wine will probably give you less color to the meat. Like whenever you add the red wine, it can get a little bit more darker. So if you wanna, you can go for white wine as well. So a nice glass of red wine. And we leave the wine, it's very important, you need to leave the alcohol to evaporate completely, and then we can continue to add the remaining ingredient. Fantastic, guys. So the wine evaporates. So to make sure that all the alcohol evaporated, really get a little bit of smell and see if you can really continue to smell the alcohol. If not, we can carry on with the remaining ingredient. The meat is really nice and cooked. You notice I have left the meat really in small pieces. You can do also larger, but if you do smaller, it's gonna cook much quicker. Now we are going to add the tomato. Just want to make sure that it's all nice and well cooked. Let's put the really on a medium-low heat, otherwise it's going to cook too fast. Now we really need to cook the ragù very slow. So we have added the tomatoes. Now we are going to add also the chicken stock. You can use a cube as well. I prefer to do it fresh. Sometimes when you do during the week, do it a little bit more so you can always freeze and then use it for next recipes. So we are going to add as well. I will just go for half of the cup at the moment. Then by the time the ragù cook and you can see that it's getting more dry, you can continue to add the remaining. And of course we need to infuse with all the spices and the fresh herbs. So I'm not going to add the salt right now. I will wait until the meat is more tender, but I can add the fresh sage. You can leave in leaf or the entire sage, so it is easy then for you to remove it, okay? But if you wanted to just by leaf, we're going to leave it on top. We have the dry bay leaf. You can also use a fresh one, it's absolutely fine. And now we got the nice cinnamon. This is very important to add for this type of ragù. I would say it is it's because Venice in the past has been always dominated by many culture. Is a very important port in Italy, which see many different cultures. And we believe that this is coming from the Middle East, when all the boats were then straight to Venice, and till now, we're still using these beautiful spices to infuse with the ragù, just to remind, you know, a little bit the culture of this city. You can add more, but I don't want to infuse too much, so I don't want to put it all. Remember, you can always add more with the salt layer, okay? So we are going to mix and leave it to cook, guys, in a very slow. I don't want it to burn too much the sauce and the tomatoes. So you're going to slow cook this ragù for, I would say, a couple of hours, but because I have diced the meat very in small pieces, probably it's gonna even take less. So we're gonna watch and see as soon the ragù will be ready. So we're gonna cover and ciao ciao ragù. And now that the ragù has cooked less than a couple of hours, we can see that it is all nice, and most of the tomato and the chicken stock that we had before is nice and dry. I just need to add the pappardelle and we are ready for lunch. And ragazzi, the pappardelle with Venetian duck ragu, it is ready. I'm going to add some parmesan. Fantastic. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more recipes. I'm ready. My guests are waiting for me. Buon appetito.